The big story at the 2015 Detroit Auto Show was the unveiling of the brand new Nissan Titan, now equipped with a Cummins diesel engine. Following that, Motoring TV attended the North American launch of the Titan. Of course, Nissan hoping to get some hype going for that new truck, but it didn't stop there. Since then, there have been at least several more media launches with the Titan, and this week we find ourselves in Charlevoix, Quebec, just outside Quebec City, for another event featuring the Titan. This time, the entire Titan family is all together. Now, you can go to the Motoring TV Car Guide website and see all our reviews on the Titan. So we thought this week, well, let's do something a little different. As you know, our truck guy is Howard Elmer. So we thought this week, let's hang with Howard, find out how he evaluates a pickup truck as compared maybe to a passenger car, and also get his thoughts on Nissan's pride and joy.
I look at every truck straight up. Does it suit its purpose? Does it do the job that it's intended for? That's its first function. Then we get into, how comfortable is it? How quiet is it? How many accessories does it offer? Does it have all the latest electronics? The trucks in the 60s, 70s, 80s were really much more utility based, meaning that if you bought it, it was typically a work vehicle. Today, you can own a truck which will work for you through the week. You can still take your entire family out in it any evening or on the weekend. And they're so dressed up that frankly, they're as nice in the country as they are, downtown pulling up to the office. My father had a machine shop. I think it started with my brothers and I when we'd have to go in and sweep on weekends. Whenever my dad was doing sketching or working at the drafting table, we'd swipe the keys, and starting at around 12 years old, we'd drive the trucks out in the back of the shop. So my dad didn't notice dents as much as my mom would have. So that's how it really got started. They have character, they have a function, they do things. Somehow you feel good about them like you would your favorite dog. I don't know, it's one of those things. They, of course, launched the original Titan back in '04, and not unlike the original Toyota Tundra, there was a little too much Japanese flair to it, meaning that the Japanese injected what they thought would be important in this market, and frankly, just like Toyota, they misread the North American truck market. Trucks here are a culture. They sold a bunch of them, but not enough to even make a dent. This time, they did it the right way, because this time they looked at what Detroit produces and they stole all the best bits. When you start off driving something empty, the first thing you want to find is how stiff is it really? Because it is going to be at its stiffest, at its roughest when it's empty. The engineers have to saw off that difference. You can't make the truck so uncomfortable empty that you hate driving it unless it's loaded. On the other hand, you can't make it too soft, because then when you put weight on it, the back end is going to drag. Have they done a good job making sure that you can do both, drive empty and with payload, and not have to be beaten up for it?
I can't say I've seen this before, Howard. Is this a good evaluation or what?
Well, it proves that the train's got really good bearings. I mean, it's dead flat, it's got very little resistance. Listen to the engine on the truck, it's barely at an idle. I mean, it looks good, but come on. You need 6 seconds on TV that goes, wow, look at that. Like, okay, whoop-de-doo.
Does it teach you anything about this truck?
No. For most people, though, who will see this, they'll think, wow. So sometimes there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in this business. A lot of guys who tow are very concerned about not having to go up a hill with their four-ways on, not having traffic pass them. They feel almost embarrassed if they can't keep that load at the posted limit. However, in my experience, where I get embarrassed is going down the hill and almost crapping myself, because the trailer's pushing the truck so hard, it'll overcome the brakes. If you're going down a grade, you don't ever want to have to touch the brakes. If between the engine and the transmission, it's working right, that should be enough to hold the weight of the entire combination. And at least that's what we're seeing with this Nissan here today. And simply with a tap of the brake, it'll go into a lower gear and it'll hold that gear all the way down the hill. Look around you. This is 99% of our country. So despite the fact that sure we got lots of people who live in cities, not everybody lives south of Bloor Street. You may not take the truck just to go running around off-road for fun, but you got to get somewhere, whether recreationally or for work. You got equipment or gear in the truck. It's not going to do you any good if it can't get up that logging road. And that's something that the Titan does well. It has a 2-speed transfer case. It has a locking rear differential. It's got decent clearance, and something like the Pro 4X model also has Under Armour for all the bits that you don't want to smash up. So yeah, it's important.
See you next time for more stories about cars and the people who drive them.
All right, see you next time for trucks and the people who drive them. No, I forgot the stories part.